The inspection drive carried out by the Khasi Students Union or KSU to check documents of migrant workers in Meghalaya continued for a second day. On June 10, members of the student body visited construction sites in several localities in Shillong to check documents such as Aadhaar cards, identification cards and specially work permits. Visuals from the ground show workers from other states such as Assam and West Bengal lined up and producing their identification cards to the members of the Students Union. During a drive in Laitumkhrah, members of the union found around 60 migrant workers who failed to provide valid documents. Following this, the workers were asked to pack up their belongings and return to their respective states. According to the KSU, the drive is being conducted because the government has failed to implement the Inner Line Permit or ILP and the Meghalaya Residents Safety and Security Act or MRSSA 2016. Meanwhile, speaking to the media on Wednesday, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma stated that no one is authorized to check these documents and that 4 cases have been filed against the organizations conducting such inspections. He also added that there is no document called a work permit. However, the registration of laborers is being done before they are engaged in any kind of work in the state.
As I said, there's no work permit or nothing like that, but registrations are mandatory. And this is done, and this was done, if you recall, from all aspects. Number one, as I said, to provide safety for the respected individuals and laborers also, and also to keep a full database of the different laborers who are working in our state.
Sir, but we have seen the KSU, sir, they are intensifying this checking, what they call this work permit, checking on work permit, based on the fact that they have alleged that the government has failed to implement the ILP and MRSSA. And question number 2 relating to this, how many major projects of the government have been stalled due to this checking by the KSU? Because they have sent back so many migrant laborers citing that they don't have work permits.
So you have got a lot of facts incorrect. Let me just mention that to you. Number one, nobody is authorized to check these papers. That's number one, and nobody can. Of course, there are incidents where individuals go or organizations go and all, but that is not as per the law. So therefore, they are completely on the wrong side of the law when they go and check. And just to inform that the government and the police has in fact filed cases against 4 cases have been filed, FIRs have been filed against different organizations who have done this in the past few days. Number 2, you've mentioned that that individuals have or organizations have mentioned that government has failed to implement the ILP. There is the question of implementing the ILP doesn't arise because ILP has not been passed or not been implemented or not been enforced in the state of Meghalaya. We have passed a resolution in the state assembly that urging the government of India to implement the ILP in the state, but that has not been cleared yet. So the question of not implementing it doesn't arise. That's number 2. MRSSA is a fact, again, you are aware that we had passed the MRSSA, made the amendments in it, but it was at the governor's level, and governor had then sent it or mentioned that it should be sent to the central government, Home Ministry, for President's assent, and accordingly we had sent it. They had sent back and asking us to look into different aspects, which again we are examining those aspects and seeing how to move forward, because a lot of points that were mentioned by government then. So the question of non-implementation doesn't arise. Regarding the question of different projects being stalled, no project has been stalled because of this kind of checks, whatever they call it. I wouldn't call it checks. They are just simply coming and intervening and trying to disturb these projects, which is not correct. These projects, whatever projects are going on, are in the interest of the state and the people. If anybody has any concerns and issues, they should follow and they should ask the departments to find out and give a list. And of course, if anybody has any concerns, we're ready to inform and give them the information. But as I said, taking the law in their own hands and going and do the checking, social checking or whatever they may call it, is something that is actually not at all acceptable. And as I said, as per law and the provisions of the law, the police will take necessary action.
So, but by the looks of it, it doesn't look like the government is very stern in its decision and its action, because this is not the first time that such incidents are happening. Time and again, last time a laborer who was killed at Mojo, also it's from Bihar. Then another, suddenly this, we're getting calls from outside, they're asking that is Meghalaya still safe for non-tribals?
You see, there are incidents. Last time also, if you are aware, that arrests have been made in those cases. So those are the news that sadly the press doesn't carry. They carry the more sensational news. But when those arrests were made, then there were reactions, but we stuck to those arrests and the cases are still going on. So we have been firm, but that was not carried again in the press. Now also, in fact, as I said, we have already filed cases, and as per the provisions of the law, the action will be taken. I don't want to say anything more right now. The police is doing its job.
On Tuesday, a technician and a driver were allegedly assaulted by KSU members during a similar drive at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in the capital. When asked about the incident, the Chief Minister said that he was not aware of it, but added that action would be taken against those involved.
Some employees of a company that came here for preparation of a Durand Cup, prestigious Durand Cup, were also beaten up.
I'm not aware about that.
Some laborers, hundreds of laborers were asked to leave this JN stadium. And
Leave, they're saying beaten up.
Yeah, they
Okay,
were
so-
trashed also.
So if that is the case, if that is the case, as I said, again, as per the provisions of the law, action will be taken against individuals who have done this kind of crimes.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.